Hey there. So I'm usually not the type to make videos, but every time I try describing to my friends about doing stovetop popcorn, they always seem really confused. So I just figured I would make the video for you because this recipe is delicious and I think everyone should have it. So the first thing you want to do is turn your stove on to about medium-high heat, because you want to get this pot piping hot. So I'm just using a medium-ish saucepan because I'm just making popcorn for one while I enjoy catching up on my Walking Dead episode later. But anyways, so what we want to do first is get that oil in that pan. So I use a blend of canola, soy, and olive oils for mine. But the nutrition facts are pretty similar to just a regular canola oil, so that will work as well. Both of them are pretty low in saturated fat. So we just want a teaspoon of this. I don't measure, so sorry, but if you're measuring type, go for it. And then we want to add a little bit of butter. The oil is to get the burning level very high so that it won't burn as soon as the heat gets hot. And get that burnt oil flavor, but we do still want to add some butter because butter still gives it that je ne sais quoi that is amazing with popcorn. Buttery, salty flavor. So just a little, just a teaspoon. That was a really small amount. It's probably less than what you would put on your toast. So we're going to let those two heat up, and then I want to slice up my pepper. So I have a little bit of a serrano pepper left over from cooking earlier in the week, so I'm just going to slice up about the rest of this for my taste. I like things decently spicy, so you can do more or less depending on your taste. And I'm just going to thinly slice this. And I'm going to keep all the seeds and ribs in because I really want that heat. If you didn't, you can certainly try to get those out. Okay, and I want those to start melding with the butter and oil mixture so that those spicy oils can start dissolving into the mixture. Alright, so we're going to let that meld for a little bit. And then the other thing that we're going to want to get into the pot as soon as the kernels go in there is the salt. So I always use kosher salt. I became a devotee after comparing them over tequila shots with iodized salt, and I swear it makes a difference. Try it. I promise you. Doing tequila shot with the iodized salt and then do one with kosher salt, and you'll notice the difference, I promise. So anyways, kosher salt is pretty large flakes though, so we really want to make sure the salt gets into those kernels as much as possible. So I've just put a little bit, just a teaspoon, into my mortar and pestle. And I know a lot of you probably don't have this, and if you don't have it, that's fine. You can just put the salt in as is. But I just think it sticks so much better to the kernels when you do this. And I think I bought this thing from like an Asian supermarket for maybe $2. So you can find these things, they're cheap. If you find one, let me just go ahead and get it. Okay, so I think we're ready for our kernels. We're just going to do about 1/4 of a cup. Again, sorry, I don't measure, but just do like 2 small palmfuls for myself. Again, this is just sort of like a large single serving. And then let's get that salt in there. So it's so powdery now. I can't even get it out. It's so nice and powdery. Alright. So now we just want to shake it up, get salt on each kernel, get it all in the oil, and then just cover it. We want to cover it until we start hearing the popping, and then we'll start messing with it again. So when we're talking about the calorie counts here, so a teaspoon of this blend oil is about 40 calories, which is not a lot, and it gives it so much more flavor. And then the butter, which of course is integral when you're making popcorn, since we're only using a teaspoon, we're portioning it wisely. A teaspoon of this is actually less calories than the oil. It's only 35 calories. It's fantastic. And then the amount of popcorn we're using, that's about 100 calories. So we're talking about, and then we're going to add a little bit of honey at the end, but that's probably only 10 or 20 calories worth. So we have an amazing homemade snack for about 150 calories. It's fantastic. And it's so much better than that bag stuff. Oh, so much better. Okay. So now that I hear the popping, I'm just sort of shaking the pan every once in a while, and you'll notice I've slightly cracked the pot, the lid of it. We want to let the steam out so that the kernels don't get soggy, because that's just not good for anyone. So we want to keep shaking, keep it slightly cracked. You don't want it too wide though, because then you'll get a hot kernel in your face or all over the stove top, and that's not fun to clean up. So we're going to try to avoid that. So we're just going to keep shaking. I also haven't changed the heat on the stove top either. Just notice that it's still the medium-high heat. I think we can get a little more out of this guy. Ooh. Alright, I think we're probably done. Turn the heat off, but I'll leave it on there just in case a couple other guys want to get some action. And then I'm going to get my bowl. Okay. So we are ready to pour ourselves that popcorn. Yum. Okay. So here's the honey. So we have all this amazing spice, salty and buttery flavor, crunchy. So we just want to add a little sweetness just to counteract that spiciness a little bit. So I have a honeycomb. I'm sure most of you don't. I don't know why I even have this, but if you don't have one, certainly a fork or a spoon will work just fine. And what you just want to do, and I totally stumbled upon this, I don't know what made me do this, but it's totally the best way. So you just want to just lightly cover it, and then sort of just mush it around the bowl lightly. And just sort of twist it around, and it will get on new kernels, and it just adds the perfect amount of honey on each one. I know it seems crazy and really stupid, but I swear to you, it does the most perfect job of just getting a little hint of honey on each one. Otherwise, if you were trying to drip it on, it would just goop everywhere, and sooner or later you'd have half of the honey container in your bowl. So I would maybe do it one more time, but you get the idea. I'm not going to bore you, but it does just get the perfect little amount on each of these kernels. And then you have these little crunchy, spicy peppers that you can eat straight up too if you're really adventurous. But really, you have this whole bowl. It's about 150 calories, and it's delicious. You know that bag stuff? There are people that have actually gotten lung cancer because they've eaten so much bag popcorn, and there's so many chemicals in the lining that they actually got cancer and got seriously ill. So you can make it on your stovetop in, my timer says, 8 minutes and 13 seconds. So go ahead and take the time. You only have one pot to clean, and this is so much better. Jalapeno honey popcorn, supermarket doesn't have that. It's so good. Oh, wrong way. There we go. It's so good. So I'm going to go watch my Walking Dead episode on demand that I missed out on. Here, it's really good. And you all should enjoy this on your own at home. Talk to you soon.